morning, everybody. Everybody, welcome on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. I'm Vince Russo. This is Billy Bhatti. This is a little preview of what today's Nitty Gritty Dirt Show is going to look like over on patreon.com/Russo TWC. Now, Billy, is that your, I'm assuming that is your team jersey for British football?
Yeah, it's a classic jersey. So it's not one that we wear now, but it's one that we wore in the 90s.
Say that again. When did you wear it?
We wore it in the 90s.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear you say 90s again, bro, because I like.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought my mic was messing up.
No, bro. Let's open it up this way, bro. Bro, you've been right about so much stuff, and I know me and Jeff were tweeting it out.
My little dog is trying to fight a huge dog outside. I don't know if you can see.
Oh my gosh!
Can you see that?
And that's Austin out there.
Austin's wearing pink like a girl. Yeah.
Oh my. Billy, you've been right all over the place, bro. Where do you want to start, Billy? Where do you want to start?
I want to start with something here. Somebody is trying to stir the shit in the brand family. So I wanted just to talk about this quickly.
Let's get it out in the open, man. Let's talk about
someone whose name on Twitter is Kayfabe for Life has turned around and goes, been a fan of the Dirty Sheets for a while. Came over to the brand to listen to your show. It sucks that people are not citing you, but you may want to get your own house in order, because there were lots of shows talking about your story, and it seemed more like Bin Hameen broke the story rather than you. I think he's insinuating that people on the brand were talking about the story this week, and people weren't specifically constantly going, "Oh, Billy said it. Billy said it." If that's the case, I don't care. But he's trying to insinuate that in some way, Bin broke. It was insinuated that Bin broke the story. I don't believe that from the YouTube clip I've seen. Yeah.
Let me just say this, bro. All the time when I'm on shows with Billy, when I'm on shows with Disco, all the time I'm citing to them what Billy said on the show. All the time I'm telling those guys. So when Bin is saying it, we have already established that, yeah, bro, Billy told me on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show, and that's all. I mean, that's where Ben is repeating it. We definitely establish it all the time that it came from you, bro.
Sorry, where are you? Where are your house keys? You left without the keys. Where are they? Where have you put them?
We got to do the Austin Billy show. I'm telling you, bro. We got to do the Austin Billy show. The Austin Billy show is coming, bro. The Austin Billy show is coming, bro. Now we cut his mic because he might be yelling at him. He might be. Now he left in the middle of the broadcast. Billy,
I'm here. I've got to limp to the door to answer this.
Billy,
can you hear me? I'm still here. Hello?
Billy, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I've never left.
All right. Are we going to talk? I mean, where are you? What is going on over there, bro? Why are you limping around?
I just have to let. He left. He's walking the dog without his keys.
Hold on for a second. I'm texting Velvet on here because Angeline is sick and she can't do the show, so I'm gonna tap in with Velvet today. Hold on, man, everybody. This is live. This is live podcasting.
Yeah, well, I mean, hold on a second. So I went and answered. I went all the way down to the door, and you're not there.
What's going on here, guys? A lot going on between father and son, Billy, Bhatti, and Austin. Austin seems to always be getting himself into trouble. We are covering this live, bro. All right, Billy, is everything okay?
Yeah, here's a case.
Billy, this is the 1 week for you to gloat about all the things that you said, the winners of the Money in the Bank, how it was supposed to be Mandy and they switched it, and you're futzing around with Austin and Keys. I'm giving you the platform, bro. This is where you rip everybody because everything you said weeks ago came to fruition, bro.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Sorry, he's been walking. We're trying to potty train this dog or house train this dog, and he's supposed to walk him every hour, but constantly he doesn't go out without the keys. And I knew he would do it when the show started. So yeah, he's got the keys now, so he's on his own. Whatever happens now. Yeah. So the joys of parenting. Yeah. So yeah, this week. Yeah, I mean a lot of the stuff.
Talking to the mic so they don't yell at me. Talking to the mic, bro. Please, because Mike Durbin will yell at me.
I disconnected. Yeah, he will. I disconnected my mic. Now I've connected again. Is that okay?
Not really, but go ahead, bro. Take it away, man.
So I know we're on Facebook again because we've got some idiot here going.
Billy bro, he's being sarcastic. The guy's just trying to stir you up. He's not. This guy is not being serious, bro. He is not being.
Sissy who copies his news from Sean Ross.
No, that's sarcastic, bro.
Okay, so for a long time, like for years and years and years and years, we've had the Royal Rumble winners, we've had the Money in the Bank winners, and the thing is that with pro wrestling matches, when you get the results right of WrestleMania, etc. People can always, it's not that impressive because the people can turn around and say, oh, it's a 50-50. It's a wrestling match. While somebody was going to win and somebody was going to lose. But when you have a big field like Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble, and we constantly tell you who's going to win and clients are able to make money at this at hugely profitable prices, that's when you come into your own. When you're telling people both of the Money in the Bank winners and both of the Royal Rumble winners, as we regularly do, that is where you push yourself into a different level. But again, that's just a case of knowing the results. The inside dealings of the business and knowing like SummerSlam cards and WrestleMania cards ahead of time, that I feel is more impressive. Now, this is where people have stolen from me for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. And Ross Sapp was quoted, and he's one of the people that steals the most stuff, as does WrestleVotes. But they were afraid. They would take this is the match at SummerSlam. This is the match at SummerSlam. This is the winner of this, that, and the other. They know my record on that, but they took it. But they did not have the balls to quote my story about Karrion Kross. They were afraid there would be no proof or result that Karrion Kross had some political issues in the WWE. They felt like, oh, it's not worth reporting this story. It's very, very obvious that we're stealing from Billy Bhatti if we do this story, and there's going to be no end result. If he ends up going to the Raw roster and he ends up not becoming the world champion, that isn't a definitive enough result to say Billy Bhatti was right. Or tell me what you have to say about the fact that I did a story 2 weeks ago to say that this guy had some serious political issues. He goes on to Raw without his woman, without his entrance, and loses to Jeff Hardy in 3 minutes. What do you have to say now? How right could I possibly be? This is the biggest story of the year. This is me pulling something out of absolute thin air where nobody had a clue about what was going on and telling you the exact situation and seeing it play out on TV.
Bill, I want to tell everybody this, bro, because, hey, listen, I've already said I'm going to live and die by the great Billy Bhatti. I've already said that, bro. I back Billy. And Billy, because of you, I'm telling you, bro, because of you, when I saw Kross work on Raw with no entrance, with no Charlotte, I knew immediately, Billy, I said, bro, he's doing a job. I knew it immediately based on the Billy Bhatti information.
See, I know my own info, and I didn't even think he was doing that job. Like, I could not believe that they wanted to put down this kind of burial. Like, it didn't. now you have no asset at all. And the thing is that you want people to care about NXT the next night, where he's in a major storyline where he's attacked Regal and Joe, and he's like the main guy over at NXT. How can I get that picture out of my head? Because there's no exclusive NXT audience. There's a Raw and SmackDown audience, and then there's a portion of that audience that will watch AEW and NXT. Whether AEW want to believe it or not, they're out there talking about them being a big success, and they're talking about stuff like, oh, CM Punk wanted to sit back and see how successful AEW was, and now they're a big success. He's going to go there. That's not what happened at all. I know about the Punk and Brian stuff, and I'll talk about it.
Yeah, don't talk about that here, bro. That's a Patreon exclusive. Hey, Billy, I do want to say this. Let's address this. I want to address what Kevin Kimmons is saying. Bro, you know Disco. I don't think Disco and Cross like talk every day, but Disco trained Cross a lot. So let
me tell you about the validity of my website. Before I put that story out, you know who I checked it with before it was published?
Who?
Disco.
Because Disco said this week that the whole Cole promo with Cross, that was all scripted, bro. That when they were going back and forth, he said there was no heat in the back. All that shit was scripted, according to Disco.
Okay, so why are we in this? Why are we having this situation then?
Well, he's saying Disco thinks it's just Vince testing a young guy. That's what Disco thinks.
For what reason? When the guy's an asset, why would you strip him of his? Look, there's 100% truth to the fact that there's heat and there's issues surrounding this girl, because this girlfriend is central to the character. Now, stripping away the girlfriend and doing all of that is key to everything that Adam Cole said in his promo. Now, perhaps Cole was scripted, but if he was scripted to say, well, he was scripted, Cross was not told that he was scripted, and nobody calls Adam Cole a little man on TV because they know how much he hates it. So I already text Disco before the story was put out, and I can show you that as well privately. Disco did not tell me anything about not putting it out. This is incorrect or anything like that. So yeah, I already checked that. But the fact is that I don't think at this point, this Disco, even if he knew Cross, would be as informed of the situation as my sources would be. And it goes to the same thing. Like, sometimes I talk to Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre doesn't tell me fully what's going on with the situation, or he doesn't know what's going on with the situation. Bear in mind, I take you way back to this fact. I told Drew McIntyre that he was winning the Royal Rumble before Vince McMahon told Drew McIntyre he was winning the Royal Rumble. So, or Drew McIntyre was kayfabing me, which is what these guys will do sometimes, because, you know, at the end of the day, we may be friends, but I am a dirt sheet, and he's about to get the biggest thing that he's ever been given in his life. Yeah, so when I'm turning around and going, you're going to win the Royal Rumble, and he replies to me, that's news to me. Either that is news to him, or he's no sold that the situation.
Let me tell you guys. Let me explain something to you. What Billy? I want to break this down for everybody listening, bro, because I don't think you understand this. Okay, here's the difference between Billy and Meltzer and all these guys. I don't need to name them. You know who they are. Here's the difference. When Billy talks to a Drew McIntyre or anybody else at the WWE for that matter, Billy knows that even though we're friends, this is still a business, and there are going to be some things that Drew or anybody else is not going to be allowed to tell me. They may drop hints, or I may have to take things with a grain of salt. Billy already knows that. Billy, you know what the difference is between you and Sapp and all these other guys? They think they're friends with these guys. They think they're
I think a significant difference. 50% of my conversations with Drew McIntyre or whoever else I talk to, I'm not about wrestling. They will be about politics. They'll be about the world. They'll be about Austin and things that are going on. They'll be about soccer, which he watches as well. They will not center around pro wrestling every single time. Like 50, of course, we're connected by that, and 50% of the conversations are. And the fact that I'm 50% of my conversation. Look, Drew, Cav, Vince Russo, another friend of mine called Nick. 50% of our conversations, or more than that, will be about wrestling. But even then, I'm not in the 100% percentile with Vince or any of these guys talking about wrestling, because that's just not who I am. I couldn't have relationships with people where they were 100% based on pro wrestling. It's not the year that we're in. It's not the time that we're in. It's not the mindset that I'm in with anybody where I formulate relationships based solely on pro wrestling. Meltzer's the opposite. He has.
Do you know what Meltzer tweeted? I saw a Meltzer tweet, Billy. This I could not believe. Now, guys, if you've watched this show, you have seen the Austin and Billy Body Show. Austin himself is a megastar. Billy, do you know what Meltzer said? He said somebody asked him what he does in his spare time. Spare time. You know what he said, Billy? Well, if I ever have any spare time, I try to spend it with my kids. So, bro, his entire life is wrestling. And if he's got 5 minutes, he'll spend it with. I'm reading this and I'm like, bro, if I'm your kid reading that, how could you even put that out there? Oh, bro, when I have spare time, I spend it with my kids. Billy, you know how freaking insane that is, bro?
Yeah, because I mean, he can't take himself away from those piles of papers that he hasn't sorted out in years. Of like,
oh man, bro, man.
I'd love to. I wonder if it's. I don't know if we'd ever be able to do it. I'd like to interview his children instead of him.
Oh, I would love that, bro. I would love that.
I would love to see if they even watch or what their interest is and what they think. I bet you they don't watch. I think when you get to the point,
no, they don't. He basically says he's got a son who he named after Cody Rhodes, by the way. He's got a son, and he says his son does not like wrestling. He has said that. His son has nothing to do with wrestling.
I think that comes from like when there's a if Billy's so great, why didn't you break the CM Punk news before Sean Ross? Vince.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me go first. What news, Jack? What news, Jack, that CM Punk has had conversations with AEW? You think that's news, bro? Honestly, Jack, if I'm CM Punk and I know I can go to this guy and say, okay, bro, here's my schedule. I'll give you 1 day a month. I'll give you one match every 6 months, and you just give me a blank check and I'll fill it in. Like, seriously, Jack, you need Sean Ross Sapp to tell you that CM Punk has had conversations with AEW? Like, that's freaking news, bro. Like, seriously? Give me a freaking break, bro. That is an absolute no-brainer that CM Punk has had a conversation with Tony Khan. That is not news, bro. Go ahead, Bill.
I was on this show 100, and I said to you a few months ago that Punk is coming back. Like and we had a whole conversation. I told you that he was in training and he was in talks with both sides. It's not a new story. Like when I said it wasn't picked up publicly, but it said to people he was in talks with both stories. And me and Vince had a very long conversation where he turned around and goes, "What's the difference? What difference is it going to make?" Yeah. And I even said to Vince, and I said to you, I believe that do you remember the conversation about levels? And I said to you, I think if it's WWE, he takes you from a 2 to a 2.5. I do believe that he's a needle mover. And I said, but he's not a Rock. And you disagreed with me. Do you not remember that conversation?
I do remember the conversation. I still disagree with you. I still disagree with you. I do remember, yes.
But yeah, I said, I disagree with you with all of these people. I said, I think he's a needle mover and I think it's going to happen. So I don't understand. Like all this is exposure. This is exactly what I've been complaining about for years.
Let's address this too. Digital unit soldier. CM Punk has a cushy job working for UFC, doing commentary on UFC Fight Pass. He's not coming back. Digital unit soldier. Are you serious, bro? Do you really think that UFC would match a Tony Khan paycheck?
Listen, Jimmy Smith, Raw commentator Jimmy Smith still works for UFC now. He's allowed to work for both. So why, if the commentator can do it, why would they not allow CM Punk to go off and do five wrestling matches a year? Or what? That's it's going to be minimal whatever he does. Can
we address Jack Nicholas as a shoot? I am a mark for Billy's hair. As a shoot, I wish I had a hair like that. Do you want to address the hair, Billy?
This is looking not very good. That's why the hat's on. It hasn't been. It's hard to wash it now. I tell you what. The most difficult thing about it now. I can't have any showers because of my leg, so I have to have bath with the leg out. So when you put bubble bath in the bath, like you need to the only way to wash your hair is to put it in. Yeah. So that's not my shampoo and that's not my conditioner. That's my shampoo and conditioner mixed with the bubble bath, which gives your hair weird texture. So I haven't had a good hair day in 2 or 3 months.
Every day's Billy. Every day's a good hair day for you.
Look forward to getting back in the shower.
Billy, give them the news on the other side. What are we talking about on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show? Give them a little taste, bro. You guys can get this all tomorrow on patreon.com/BillyTWC. What are we looking at, Billy? Give me a little nougat. Give me a little taste, bro.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to talk about this Punk and Bryan situation. One thing I'll say, which is something related to the other side, everybody was turning around and going when Punk lost, when Bryan lost after WrestleMania, they were saying he's out of contract. He's out of contract now. He's out of contract. And I said he isn't out of contract. He's out of contract at the end of July because he signed a contract. He renewed his contract to do SummerSlam 2018. There's no 21-month deals. There's no 33-month deals. I was saying the deals are. Stop screaming at your viewers, Vince. This guy's trolling us big time.
Yeah, somebody said Jack Hill is a Meltzer mark, bro. Please. Right. But Jack Hill, seriously, bro, if you're a Meltzer mark, you need to stick your head in the sand and never, ever, ever come out again, bro. Go ahead, Billy.
I was giving people lessons here about how deals work, about NXT deals and main roster deals and how they were very flat. There's actually no 2-year deals. It's very weird. I think Vince doesn't like even numbers, but it's 1, 3, or 5. That's it. And that's what people are signing for. So when people turn around and go, "Oh, he lost at WrestleMania and he did that leave," leaving. If he loses the match, he leaves SmackDown, right? And they were saying that's the end. That he must be out of contract. You're just making it up. You just know the guy's going to be off TV and he's making it up. He still had a commitment to the WWE, and his contract was there long enough for him to complete the filming of Total Bellas, which is now also done. And they're saying that there isn't going to be another season. So that in itself, if you know the inner workings of Daniel Bryan's situation, that's when you're able to decipher when he's actually going to leave and when he's not going to leave. So I'm going to talk about that on the other side. But
wait a minute. Wait, time out for a second, Billy. These people get on my nerves. Digital unit soldier. Well, you did just yell at me because I was unaware that CM Punk is apparently hard up. Bro, did we say CM Punk is hard up for money? Did either one of us just say that, bro? Did either one of us make that comment?
Listen. Hard up for money is all about in terms of how you spend it. Now, if Vince Russo gets a 3-year deal with WCW and he buys his house outright, he buys his property outright and isn't into drugs like heroin and alcohol and strippers and whores, then he'll probably be fine for the rest of his life, knowing that he paid his house fully with that money from WCW, right? Same goes for CM Punk. When you work for the WWE for 10 years and you own a house and car and you're straight edge, which he is, which he doesn't have those vices, and he probably doesn't have poor investments, there's no way he's ever going to need to work again. I don't know what you people where you people get to the point where, oh, these people need money. houses cost enough. Houses cost the same amount as working one match at WrestleMania, right? So when he worked with The Undertaker, he would have took that money from WrestleMania 29. He would have bought a house. This guy has bought his friends' houses. Do you guys know that he bought his friends?
Time out again. This freaking digital unit. You made reference to how much money Tony Khan would give him over UFC. You guys mentioned money. Bro, I mentioned he's a businessman. Bro, what aren't you understanding? CM Punk is a businessman. If CM Punk can get a wrestling mark to give him $5 million a year to wrestle one match, that is a business decision. Bro, are you stunad?
Brock Lesnar has $26 million and he doesn't like people and he doesn't like wrestling. You know what's going to happen in a few months? Brock Lesnar's going to come back to get paid again. So his 26 million becomes 29 million. And then he's going to come back again. So his 29 million becomes 32. How can people not understand that?
You know what? Let me tell you something, Billy. Here's the biggest problem with wrestling marks. Here's the biggest problem. Bro, they do not look at wrestling like a business. These morons think wrestling is real. They don't understand, bro. This is no different than Amazon or T-Mobile or Google or Coca-Cola. Wrestling is an effing business, guys. They can't separate, bro. They can't separate the business from the make-believe world of fake wrestling matches. It's the most ridiculous, stupid thing that I encounter every single day, bro. These guys do not understand this is a freaking business, bro. Go ahead, Billy.
And it's the same bullshit when people turn around and go, oh, Floyd's fighting again. Floyd Mayweather's broke again. Floyd Mayweather, it would be impossible for him to go broke with the amount of money he's earned. Same for Conor McGregor. Both of these guys, they talk about generational wealth. Now, I don't need to do this show. I don't need to do lock bet. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I want. You know, like I wouldn't be able to click my fingers and go on this holiday, that holiday, whatever. So I continue to work. So I have a luxury life. But if I wanted to live on a tight string, right, seeing as my property is already paid for, I could get away with not working again. Do you know why I do it? Because A, I want a luxury wife, and B, I don't have generational wealth. So if my son turns out to be a moron who doesn't go and have any success of his own and doesn't go and get a good job, he's going to need that money from me when I die to make sure that he's able to invest it and be secure. It's called generational wealth. I'm not working for me anymore.
Right.
I'm working for my kid and maybe even their kid after. That's why these people continue to do it. Brock Lesnar is working for generational wealth.
Right. Billy, I continue to do what I can, and I try to accumulate as much income as I can, because I always think about, bro, God forbid something happens to me and I die. I want my wife to be okay, bro. That's why I do it. Bro, what about this guy, Billy? If Tony Khan offered you a deal, you would bounce and forget about the brand forever. Bro, could anybody imagine, Billy, can anybody imagine me working for that moron? Can you imagine Vince Russo sitting in a meeting with that moron and having to sit there and listen to him? Do you guys think that there's a price tag on that for me? Like literally, bro, you think I would have this guy as my freaking boss? I'm twice the age of him. This little pinky knows more about booking wrestling and writing wrestling than Tony Khan. And you really believe that I would make a choice to be subservient to this idiot? Like, you're an idiot. Like, if you believe that, you are an absolute idiot. I'm going to tell you something else too. This one guy, if this Jack Hill says one more idiotic thing on here, I'm bouncing you from the room, bro. I'm bouncing you from the room because you're talking like you're some kind of an idiot, bro. All right, Billy, what else we got on the other side?
Do you want to do the $4.99 guy?
Yes, Bid Moon. Thank you for a $4.99 donation. AEW Smarks are out of control this week. They're always out of control, bro. Bro, I want to acknowledge too, because I think we got $1.49 from Travis Berg. I want to put Travis over. Travis, I'm pretty sure that was you. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that was you. Thank you, Travis.
So I've got news here about the WWE Raw commentary team. I've got news here about Jackson Riker. I've got news about how Nikki Cross got herself into a situation to win that Money in the Bank this week. I've got a really funny story about Jimmy Uso.
I love the funny stories you have. I love them, bro.
I don't know if it's. I'm sensitive about saying that because some people go, "Oh, why are you laughing? I've got that. My uncle's got that problem, or my dad's got that problem, or I have that problem." So maybe I shouldn't say funny, but Jimmy Uso's situation has been dealt with in a unique way. And then I also want to talk about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan from a factual standpoint and why my website didn't do a big story this week where we turn around and went, CM Punk is definitely coming back because it's a situation that's going on in soccer at the moment. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an analogy or comparison. Sorry. There's a player that Manchester United want to sign called Rafa Varane, and he's out of contract at Real Madrid next year. And when Real Madrid had another player called Sergio Ramos, we didn't sign him, and he was another Real Madrid player, and he managed to get his contract renegotiated and boosted by Real Madrid just by talking to Manchester United. So he used Man United on his final year to get himself a better deal. We are worried at the moment that's what Rafa Varane's doing to us. He's talking to Man United in his final year. He's talking about coming to us because Real Madrid are not offering him a big contract. This is partially my understanding of what could be going on here in this situation, which is why I'm not...
We talked about that. We talked about that too, Billy. We talked about
exactly. Which is why I'm not chucking my rep on the line and saying, oh, he's going here, because I don't think if you watch both shows now, look, Raw and SmackDown ain't that great. We're going to talk about it. In fact, the final thing I want to do is talk about that before we get off this free show. But I'm not going to turn around and say this is 100% fact because I know that the guy is not just talking to one of the parties. Now, more about that on the other side. I want to finish this show by making an apology to Vince Russo because Vince, I'm embarrassed to do this. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, you should be. You should. Yeah, you owe me an apology. Go ahead. I'm going to let you apologize to me. Go ahead.
Let me tell you what I'm apologizing for. I'm apologizing because we are coming out of the pandemic, or we are perceived to be coming out of the pandemic. And when you're coming out of a pandemic, you're looking for all of these different signs and symbols to say, hey, we're moving forward. We're moving out of this shit situation. And one of the signs for me was when I turned on SmackDown and saw that live crowd there. And when Edge came out, I don't know what it was. It was like someone put a shot in my arm and said, we are back now. This is a symbol that we are back. You need to it's time to start watching this product properly again. It's time to give this company another chance. It's time to look online and see when me and Austin can start going back to the WWE again. This is not going to get perfect like the best wrestling, but this is going to get a lot better. This is going to be watchable. We need to give these people a chance. So I know Vince doesn't cover SmackDown, and I know that he covers Raw, and I know he does his watch along in a 90-minute version. So I said to Vince, for the sake of the brand, you have to watch SmackDown, and you have to cover this Raw properly because you are a guy who's been involved in this industry. And one of the very few resets, Vince and Eric Bischoff did a full reset in April 2000. And I said, people want to hear what you have to say properly. So I said to you, you stay up with me. Let's do the watch along for 3 hours. And Vince replied to me, he goes, what are you talking about, bro? It's going to be shit. And I said, you can't say that, Vince. I said, I don't think it is. It can't be. It's not going to be that bad. I said, we should stay up and do it. And he was 100% confident and said, it's going to be shit. And I was advocating for the fact it wouldn't be. And I could not believe the show I was watching. I could not believe that 1 hour and 50 minutes into that show, other than John Cena coming out at the beginning, they booked long pro wrestling matches that went through the advert with people that we didn't care about up until the 1 hour and 50 minute point. At that point, I was sitting there feeling absolutely as dumb as I possibly have ever done since I've been on the show. So out of that pure embarrassment, I'm going to apologize to you for trying to
Yeah, Billy, I can't believe you had a moment of weakness where you actually thought this was going to be a good show, and I'm like,
not a good show, but a better show, much better than what we've been seeing, and something that we should cover.
Yeah, Billy,
the thing is, in my defense, I knew about Cross. I knew about Goldberg. Obviously, I didn't know about the cash-in per se till late on, but I knew they were going to be doing stuff. And if you look at what they had on that show, Cena, Cross, Keith Lee, Goldberg, you're going to do a title change. If you know all that information and you have the right bookers, the right writers, the right minds, that should be a good show.
Of course it should. Right.
But you didn't. It didn't end up like that.
I swear to God, the show was so bad that while I'm watching the show and we get to the end, I think it was Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, we get to the end. I swear to God, I convinced myself, Billy, that this show is so bad that but they're gonna send Becky out at the end. That is going to save this show because people will remember that. You always remember the last thing you see. So I'm like, this is a shit show, but they're going to save it with Becky. And then here comes Nikki Ash. And I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, really, man? Like, really, guys? Billy, that's the
other side. We'll talk about her first. Nikki Ash.
Okay, we'll talk about that. All right, Billy, give him everything, man. Give him podcasts on a pole, lock betting, dirty sheets. Give it all to him, bro.
Yeah, podcast on a pole. We just released an episode. It's available on iTunes for free. If you go to podcastonapole.com, we just released an episode of Spotlight Profile with Ahmed Johnson. Now, this is an episode that was delayed and recorded late because we wanted to talk about an interview that Ahmed did. That was the right decision. So that's available along with Spotlight Profiles talking about the Ultimate Warrior, Sid, Linda McMahon, Vader, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and others over at podcastonapole.com. Also a bonus show from me and Cav where we talk about Podcast on a Pole and a little bit about WCW in comparison to Raw as well. So podcastonapole.com is a Patreon, and Podcast on a Pole is where is what you need to search on iTunes just to listen to the free episode of Podcast on a Pole, which covers June 1997, which includes the Canadian Stampede and loads of inside thoughts in terms of the Canadian Stampede. Lockbetting.com is my betting website. We are not doing a load of content at the moment. We did have a 1 unit winner in the MLB a couple of days ago. I sent that one to Vince Russo. So we've now got we don't do a lot of them. We have a 7-1 record in the 1 unit plays. I believe I've sent you 3 or 4 of them. I didn't send you the first few.
And the one loss was a huge come from behind, a total team collapse. That was the one loss.
In the 8th. Yeah, Toronto in the 8th against the Orioles. Yeah, that was the one loss. But so it was the Yankees, Phillies over, wasn't it? But then it worked both ways because that bet was 2-2 and that was also dead in the 8th inning. And suddenly we got like a whole bunch of runs. So you can't make excuses. But yeah, we're doing well with that. And we're doing the Olympics as well. But August the 1st is your magical date because August the 1st is the new financial year for lockbetting.com. That's when soccer's back. You can get the futures. You can get the futures for the NFL. Me and Cav will start doing our NFL show as well. You have the Tennis US Open, you have WWE SummerSlam, UFC cards. August is a huge month. So if you're not signed up already, I would wait till August the 1st. That will be the month where we go for our 99th month in a row of transparent track profit. So we are 2 months away from having 100 months in a row. We've already passed the eight year mark. Will Gaby Gonzalez says, when's the Ron Simmons episode coming out? That's going to be next week. And there was a $5 guy here. AEW could definitely use Mr. Russo booking for them from Carlos Ray.
Yeah, Carlos Ray. Thank you very, 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 very much. AEW could definitely use Mr. Russo. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen, Carlos, but thank you very, very, very much. Did we cover Dirty Sheets?
Yeah, the last place is the dirtysheets.com, which is where I give out all my news. And the Dirty Sheets podcast comes out now 2 or 3 times a month. We preview every pay-per-view and we review every pay-per-view. So you get 2 weeks in a row and then you get an additional show through the course of the month, because me and Cav didn't want to commit to doing it every single week because there's not enough going on, to be honest. But we are doing 3 months, so we are definitely doing either side of the pay-per-view. So there's going to be a big show out on Saturday where we talk about Money in the Bank and Monday Night Raw and tonight's SmackDown, and we have a lot to say. So that's going to be coming out tomorrow. Just search the Dirty Sheets on iTunes, and Austin's Instagram is at Austin's Toys and Games.
All right, guys, we're going to go to the other side, bro. We're going to go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. We're going to get all the hot news with Billy. Hey, Austin, bro, what's up? Where are the keys? Austin, where are the keys? You got the keys, Austin. Guys, we'll see you on the other side.